Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be looking at how to create this dashboard that you can see on your screen using Power BI. This dashboard is on customer analytics, a useful tool for marketing to enable you know your customers as well as how to channel your marketing campaign for an effective result. So the first page we have customer demographics. Here we have the total sales number of customers, the sales by gender, and marital status, then the distribution by age band and by country. The interesting thing is that for gender, for instance, if I right click on the male aspect of things, you can go through, drill through, and view the customers within that particular category, within that gender, so that you can just know who are your male gender. You can just get their details here. If I go back here and under the age band. For instance, now we see that our major age band is between 55 and 64. I can right click, drill through, get to that details. If I have any particular campaign that I want to run for people within this age band, I can easily get their details and send that to them, their email messages and all. Then also for country, you can do the same thing. It has that drill through capability. Here you can also filter by the particular product name, if you have a particular product that you want to push. Then for this second page, we have the customer segmentation. This particular page classified the customers into 11 segments using RFM analysis. RFM stands for Recency, Frequency, and Monetary Value Analysis. If you want to get more information regarding that, you can click on this. You can see that recency actually means how recent a customer made a purchase, frequency, how often the customer made that purchase or interacted with the business. Then the monetary value, how much did the customer spend within that given period. Then the different segments that we have here, let me just expand this, what each of these segments mean, as well as the marketing actions that I recommend that you can actually apply. You can also apply your own marketing action depending on your business and what you are trying to achieve. Then that is that for segment. Also for the segmentation page, you can, just like we have champions, you can also right click, drill through to get the customer details within that particular segment, so that you can easily channel your campaign that you want for them. You can see this is filtered for segments. I mean, for champions, these are all dark customers. You can easily get that details and send them whichever campaign that you want to create for them. So that is that for this particular page. And then the last one is the customer details. The customer details, this page actually serves as a drill through page, but you can also remove the filter on it if you want to see all your customers that you have within your system. All right, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to create our background. These are the three backgrounds that I use for this report. As you can see, they are all similar. I would only create the first page and you can do the rest because it's just the number of shapes that differs. So I'll click on new slide. I will insert a rectangle, change the fill to white and no outline. I'll insert a rounded rectangle to form a navigation bar, adjust the edge, change the fill and the outline to that same color. Then I will insert another rounded rectangle, adjust the edge, then change the fill. I want the shade of ash, the outline the same color. Then I will insert another rounded rectangle. This is going to be for our title. Change the fill to white, the outline to white as well. then copy that, adjust the width, increase the height, as I want this to be our placeholder for the map. Then adjust the edge a little more, copy that to this end, drag this down, reduce the height. This is going to be for our edge band. Then copy, paste. Uh, this is going to be for our agenda. Reduce the height a little. Copy. So we have for the two pie charts, increase the width, then copy so that this will be a placeholder for our card. Take this up, adjust this up as well. Then increase the height of this. So we have our first page. You can just group all, Control A, Control G, then save as picture. And when you are saving this, save as SVG to any particular location, but ensure it's saved as SVG. And here in Power BI, we're going to import the backgrounds. So I'm going to create 4 pages. So for the page one, you click on the Format Painter Canvas Background Browse. I have it saved in my pictures. So this is the first one. Remove the transparency and image fit. Then for page two, same thing. This is for my page two. Like I said, they are similar. It's just the number of shapes that differs. So you can just create this and change the shapes. Then page three, have this. Remove the transparency, image fitting number. Page three and four are the same thing because they're just housing tables. And so I have my 4 pages. So the next thing I'm going to do is to import my data set. Get data. It's an Excel workbook. Adventure works. So there are different tables in this data set and we're importing all. So dim customer, dim date, dim geography, dim product and sales territory, then fat internet sales, then click on transform. So you can see that for this first table, Power BI has changed type for us, and from what I can see, my customer key was changed to integer, but I want it to be a text since it is a key column. So I'll change this back to text, replace the current one. Then even the geographic key, change this back to text. If you don't have this enabled, you can enable it by clicking on view and column quality, column profile and distributions. So you can just enable that. These tools help you to check your columns to ensure that each one is as it's supposed to be. Then if I go through, I'm okay with the other data types that I have. I think Power BI has been able to do a good job with them. The next thing I'm going to do is to select the columns I need. I don't need all the columns, and this is very important so as to reduce the size of your data of your reports and to improve the um, performance of the report. So I'll click on choose column, deselect all, select customer key, geography, first name, last name, birth date, marital status, gender, email address, then phone, then click on OK. So Power BI has removed other columns that I don't need. So the next table to look at is the dim date. Um, I'm okay with what I have here. Then dim geography. For this, I need just some columns. I'll click on choose column, geography key, city, and English country name. So I'll just change this to just country. And under product, I also need just a few columns as well. I'll click on choose column, product key, and product name. Click OK. Then I'll just rename this to product name. Then sales territory. I'll remove this. I don't need this particular column. Then fact internet sales. I am okay with what I have here. Then I'll have to change all this to the key columns to text. And I'll do the same for geography. Then product as well. Also sales territory. So we are good. Finally, I'm going to click close and apply. So our data has loaded. Then I'm going to look at the relationship part between all the tables. And to check that, I'll click on this manage relationship to ensure that the relationship created, they are using the correct columns. So you have the dim, customer, and geography. We have the geography key. Then for customer and fact internet sales, the customer key, which is right. For product and yeah, so the relationship is actually correct the way it's supposed to. Then I'll go to the table view. Next thing I'm going to do for the dimension customer table, I'm going to extract the age using this birth date. So to do that, I'll create a new column. So I'll click on new column. Then I'll be using this particular DAX. So this is majorly difference between the birth date and today. So the date difference between the birth date and today, then give me that in year format. So we have the age. The next thing I'm going to create is the age band. I want to group all these ages that I'm seeing here into five different bands. So I'll click on new column. So I'm using this particular DAX too. It's a switch statement. Check where the age is greater than or equal to 45 and less than or equal to 54. Label that as 45 to 54. Then the same thing is applicable to the other bands. Then where you don't have that, label that as greater than 94. So I'll click OK. So you can validate this by going through. You can see that 59 falls within 54, 55 and 64. 60 falls within 55 and 64. You can just go through and be sure that your measure is actually, your DAX is actually giving you what is expected. Next thing I'm going to do is to create a table for my measures. I'll click on home, enter data, then label this as measures. Click load. Okay. So we are going to start the RFM analysis. Just like I mentioned earlier, RFM, it's an analysis used to understand customer behavior so that it can help you when you are creating a marketing campaign to know your target audience. Then for the recency, how recent a purchase is made, then frequency, how often the customer purchases, as well as the monetary value, how much did the customer spend within that time period. So for this particular one, we are going to be creating measures for the recency value. In order to achieve that, we need to find the last transaction date. So this is going to, we're going to be using the fat internet sales table for this. This is our fat table to find the last order date for that each customer. So we have the order date column that should be somewhere there. Okay, here. So in order to create the measure for that, for the last transaction date, we have, I'll right click here, new measure. So we are using this formula. So the max X is actually trying to get the maximum order dates for that customer where you have customer key is equal to customer key. Then that gives us our last transaction date. Then we will now calculate the recency value from that. So I will click a new measure. For recency value, that last transaction date that we have, we now find the date difference between the last transaction date and today's date. That gives us the recency value. Then the next measure is going to be the frequency value. So in order to get how often the customers actually patronized us, we're going to be using the sales order number. So to do that, let's just look at the fat internet sales. So here you have the sales order number for different customers. If I actually sort this customer key by ascending, you can see that we have this customer coming in eight eight times. So and when you look at the sales order number, you find out that there are some sales order numbers that are repetitive for that particular customer. So, in order to get the exact number of times the customer patronized us, we are going to find distinct count of the sales order number for that customer. So that would be our frequency value. So new measure, frequency value, distinct count of that sales order number. Then the final one that we are going to create for now is the monetary value. So for the monetary value, we have new measure. We are using this DAX. What this is actually doing is that for each customer, calculate the total sales amount for that particular customer. So the all except actually is considering the filter on the customer key. So every other filter, whether on the product key or geographic key, it's not included. It's just the filter on the customer key. So this is going to enable us to calculate the sales amount for per customer. That gives us the monetary value. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to create a summarized table using this our measures I've created. So in order to have our RFM table, so I'll click on new table. So we will use this DAX. So if you look at this, we are using the summarize function, more like group by, to group the fast internet sales. I will get the customer key from fast internet sales column, then grouping them by our recency value, um, frequency value, and monetary value that we created as measures. So this gives us a new table. So you can see that each customer now has their recency value, frequency value, and monetary value attached to them. So the next thing we're going to do is to assign a score for the recency value, frequency, and monetary value that we've calculated. So we have recency score, frequency score, and monetary value score. And to do this, I'll click on new column. So for recency score, we have this tax. This is a switch statement. If the recency value is less than or equal to the 20th percentile, give it a value of 5. Then if it is less than or equal to the 40th percentile, give this a value of 4, 3, 2, 1, where 5 is the highest score and 1 is the lowest score. This actually ensures that the customer with the lowest recency value gets the value of 5, which is what we want. Then for the frequency score, we have new column. So this is more like the opposite of what we have for recency score, whereby the customer with the highest frequency value gets the highest number score attached, which is 5, and the one with the lowest gets 1. Then the same thing is going to be applicable to our monetary value. So we'll click on new column, then change the frequency to monetary. Hold down Shift key, Control and L to select all and change everything at once. So we have our monetary score. So customer with the highest monetary value gets the score of 5, and those with lowest get the score of 1 within that percentile. Then you can also validate this to ensure that when you click on recency and click on um, ascending, you can see the ones with the lowest has a score of 5, and the one with the highest sort descending has a score of 1. Then for frequency sort ascending, the one with the lowest has a score of 1. Then the one with the highest, if you saw descending, has a score of 5. So this is giving us what it's supposed to. Then finally, we just have the RFM score itself. So which is basically going to be the concatenation of recency score, frequency score, and monetary score. So RFM score. equal to recency, frequency, and monetary. So you can see that we have them here. The next thing I'm going to do is to import RFM segment table, whereby we can map this score to the segment if there are champions about to lost customers, you know. So I'll click on home. So I'll click on Excel workbook. So I have this table. So this is going to be a segment table. So we have two sheets inside here. The first one is the segment itself, and that will help us to map the RFM score that we created to this segment to get whether they are at risk and all. And the second one actually is the description that describes what each segment is and recommended marketing action. I need the two tables, so I'm going to import the two, then transform data. So we have the two tables here. I'm going to rename this as segment table. Then this one is segment description. So for the segment table, okay, I don't need to do any transformation. It's basically what I want. Here we have the segment order. So this will help us when we are trying to visualize and to show us the particular order that it's supposed to take. Then the segment description. Here we need to promote header, the transform first row as header, then close and apply. Okay. So I am going to create relationship between this RFM table and segment table. Then I'll click on manage relationship, new relationship. Then from RFM table to segment table. So we are going to connect the RFM score to these scores. Then another relationship that we are going to create is between the RFM table and the fact internet sales. So I'll click on new relationship, RFM table, and fact internet sales, so that to connect and so that we can visualize the segment by total sales. So we have the connecting key as customer key save. Then we can now start creating our visualizations. So we start with the card visual for our total sales. So for the total sales, majorly the sum of sales amount. I'll click on new card, then fact internet sales. I will select the sales amount, change the format to USD, then adjust that. On the background, turn off the background, and also remove all the padding. Then the color value, reducing font size to 35, and also the value itself, I want just two decimal places. Then the label, The label, I want it to be semi bold, and edit the title, total sales. Then the label color, I want the label color to be darker shade of black. Then scroll down to images. I want the I want it to have an image. Turn it on, browse. I'm using this icon here. Reduce the size of the icon to 50. Then finally on the card itself, I want to remove the background and the border. So I want to just the background of the placeholder that we have there from our background that we created on PowerPoint. So that is that for total sales. I will just copy this, paste number of customers. So instead of sales amount, I have customer key. So drag it from small multiples to data. Then we want to count these things, customer key. Then and edit the title to number of customers. Then get more of this format. Um, ensure that it retains the format of what we currently had for total sales. Then I will for the call out label change the font to Sajid UI semi bold. Then images, add the image that we want. Number of customer, browse. We want this image, and also the size of the image, we want it to be 50 pixels. So we have our two cards. Next is total sales by gender, which is a donut chart. I'll just click on donut chart, adjust it, um, drag sales amount into that, change this to total sales, and the legend in this case is our gender. The gender is coming from the customer dimension table. So click on gender, then format this, turn off the background. Um, for the legend, turn off the title of the legend, and the position of the legend is going to be bottom center. Then for the detail labels, I want just the percentage of total. Then for the slices, I want the I want the female to be this shade of blue and the male to be this shade of orange. Then I will duplicate this. The title itself, I want to reduce the size of the title to 12. Then duplicate this for marital status. Then in this case, instead of gender, I will select marital status. And for the slices, married to be the shade of blue and single to be the shade of orange. Then down here, I want to have my age band. So I'll have a bar chart here. Then the age age band, the age band that we've created already, and our sales amount. So right now you can see that this age band is not arranged in the order that it's supposed to be. So to enable that arrangement, I'm going to create a helper table, or like age band sort column, which is a helper table that will help us to arrange this in the order that it's supposed to be. So I'll click on enter data, then paste this. So we have the age band. The least one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to the highest one. So I'm going to rename this as age sort. So the next thing is to connect that table to our dimension customer table. So I'll click on model, manage relationship, new relationship, age sort, dimension customer. So we have that connection, age band to age band. Then I can click on, instead of the age band in the customer, I will just get that of the age band in the age sort table, and I'll sort it by sort order. So when I remove that and include it back, you can see that it has been sorted based on the order that is supposed to be from the least to the highest. So I will start working on the formatting aspect of this. Turn off the background, and for the y-axis, I'll turn off the title. X-axis, I will also turn off the title and the value. Then for the bars, I'll change the color of the bars to fit our color theme and turn on the data label. Then change the chart title, total sales by each band. So we have that. Then reduce the size of this title and reduce it to 12 so as to fit the order that we have. Then final chart on this page is going to be the map. So I'm using this map. Adjust it. So we have our country. I'll change this country to, I'll categorize it as a country so that you have the globe sign. So now we have that globe sign. So our location is country by the total sales, which is our sales amount. Our bubble is going to be the sales amount. So I'll just label this as total sales. Then change the color of the bubble. First turn off the background of the chart and scroll down to bubbles. Change the color of the bubble to orange to fit our color theme. Then this title of the chart to 12. And finally, I'm going to add a text for this particular page to describe our title. 18. Then we add the slicer here as well for the product name. The product name is in the product table. Change the slicer setting to drop down and reduce the size of the header. Turn off the background of the slicer. Okay. So we have our first page. I'll rename this page as customer demographic. Next is to work on the second page, which is the customer segmentation. Let me just rename that. The next chart is going to be number of customers by segment. I'll click on bar chart, click on the fat internet sales number of customers as the customer key. So I'll drag it down to the x-axis because I want to use it as a numeric column in this case. I'm going to count distance. Then I'll select the segment column from my segment table. So right now we have it as in this order. If you don't have yours in this order, this is because of the fact that I have sorted this column by segment order. Just click on segment, click on sort by column segment order so that you have from champions down to the number of lost customers. So I'll edit this, click on remove the background and the bars, the color of the bar, I want it to be this shade of blue. Then the title, y-axis, turn it off. X-axis, turn off the title and the value. Then turn on the data label and also edit the title of the chart itself. Number of customers by segment. Then reduce the size to 12. And we have this. So the next one is going to be total sales by segment. I will just copy this because they are the same format. Drag it to this end. So instead of count of customers, we have the sales amount. Rename this to total sales. Then also the title. You can just click on this part to edit the title. Then the next one is going to be our recency value by segment. So for that, it's going to be a bar chart as well. So I'll click on bar chart. But we are going to transform the native bar chart to a lollipop chart. So adjust this. Then select our recency value. This is recency value. Then by segment. So I will edit the title. Turn off the background. Then for the x-axis, For the y-axis, I'll turn off the title. For the x-axis, I'll also turn off the title and value. For the bar, I will change the color to this. Then the bar layout, I'll increase the space to 75. Then down to the error bars, I will, because I want to change this to a lollipop chart. So I'll use the error bars for this. To enable error bar, then add the recency value as the upper bound. Then scroll down to the marker, change the marker from that particular line to round, then change the size to 7. Then for the bar itself, I want the color to be this shade of orange. So we have this, and I'm going to increase the so that I can see the name, the full name. So to do that, I will go down to the y-axis, maximum width. So we have the names showing. I'll extend this to more. Then for the title, so that we have enough space there, I'll reduce this to 12. So we have all the segments showing. I'll copy this and paste for frequency. Mm, Adjust this. So for this one, instead of recency, I'll remove the recency. We'll have frequency value. Then because the error bar that we added is for recency, that's why we cannot see for this. So we need to re-add this again. So turn this on, drag that of frequency, change the bar color to this shade of orange, as well as the marker shape to our round shape. Then increase the size of the marker to 7. Then change the name, the title. And finally, we have the monetary value. So we just paste a duplicate of the recency as well. Remove recency and add the monetary value there. Change the error bar, enable that. Add the monetary value as the upper bound. Change the bar color to orange, the marker to round, as well as increase the size of the marker to 7. Then change the title to monetary. And finally, for this page, we're going to add the title of the page. So I'll just copy this text box that we have here. Then edit the text, add segmentation, in brackets RFM analysis. Extend this so that everything can show. Bracket closes. So we have our second page. The third page is going to be for customer details. So I'm also going to paste that text here since we're going to have a title. So customer details. So for this, we are going to have a table. Insert a table. adjust the table for our, we are going to be getting the data from our deemed customer table. So we have the customer key, which is a customer number in this case. So I'll just rename that as number. Then first name, last name, email address, marital status, age, city. So the city and country, we're going to get that from the geography. City, country, then add the sales amount, then I'll add the segment from our segment table. So you can see that we have the segment for each customer here. The sales amount, I'm going to change that to total sales. Also change the format of that to two decimal places. Then next is to format the table itself. So for the background, I will turn off the background. The style of the table, I want it to be minimal. Then here that we have sum of age, I just want it to read age and not sum of age. Then we have grid, border, change the color of this border to our orange. Then turn off the total. Click on total, turn off the, then finally we need to bring in our product name slicer. Select, copy that, and paste. Done, synchronize. So you have the product name. Next thing I'm going to do for this page, because we need this page to be a drill through page as well. So we're going to go to page information. So we're going to add, change the type to drill through. So I'm going to click on add data, select segment, then also under our fat internet sales, I'll select sales amount. So these are two columns that wherever it sees it, I should drill through to this particular page. You can see that it has automatically added a back button for us here, and we don't need the button for now because we want to use our page navigator. So I'll remove this, then go to customer demographics so as to test our drill through. So you can see that there is drill through, and we can move to this particular page. Okay. An interesting thing here is that once you drew through, for now you have just male figures showing. So if you want to remove the filter that's on this page, you can just click on this page filter here, scroll down, filters on this page. Right now is for male. If you want to see everybody, you can just click on clear filter, and everybody shows now, both male and female. So we have this page set up. Then the final page is going to just be our description page to describe what RFM analysis is about, as well as what the different uh, segments that we've created here, what they represent. If you don't, to give you more information regarding the different segments and the marketing action. So I'll rename this page as segment description. Then I'll insert a text box. drag the text box to this end, paste a brief summary of what RFM is about. So we have that brief summary here. Then add a table. I'll click on table. So in this case now I'm going to use the second sheet that we imported when we were importing our RFM table, which is this particular, let me- which is this description table where you have the segment. You can see the segment, the descriptions, and the marketing action. So we have what the segment is, the description, and the recommended marketing action that you want. Then I will format this, turn off the background, uh, the style preset, change that to minimal, and the grid, I will change the border to our color theme. Then add a title. So I'll just copy this our text title here. Extend this to show everything. So we have our 4 pages, and for this particular page, I need to also turn off the background of this. Turn off the background. So for this page, we want this page to be hidden. We don't want it to be showing on our page navigator. So I would click on hide, then go to the first page, then button, navigator, page navigator. So we have the 4 pages that we've created. So the first thing I'm going to do is to edit the number of pages that I want to show. I only want to show 3. I don't want this to show. So to do that, I'll click on pages. Show hidden pages is turned on by default. So I will just deselect that. So we now have 3 pages showing. And grid layout, change that from horizontal to vertical. We have this orientation. Adjust that to this end. Then to change the shape of the pages button, click on shape, select view, adjust it the more. Then for the style default, I have a font color. Okay. Then but the feel of the default, I want that to be more color. Then turn off the border. For the selected, I want the fill color to be this shade, while the text color, I want it to be black. I'm going to duplicate this page navigator to our other pages that we have here. So paste. You can see that customer segmentation is selected by default here, and customer details is selected here. Then segment, nothing is selected here. You only need the segment for more information. So I'm going to go to the customer segmentation page to add an icon for more information here. So I'll insert an image. This is the image I'm inserting. Adjust it. So I want the action of this image. I'll turn it on. The action is going to be, instead of going back, I want it to be a page navigation. So it's going to navigate to our segment description page. And on the tooltip aspect, right now on the tooltip, it's saying click here to follow to link. This is not descriptive enough. So I'll write click for more information. Okay. So when you hover, you have click for more information. And when you hold down the control key, because this is on desktop, I'll hold down the control key and click. It goes to the description page. You can now go to the particular page that you want. Hold down the control key. This is on desktop. And yeah. So finally, you can click on publish and publish save and publish to any workspace of your choice. Right now, I already have this published on my workspace. This is it on service. Right now, I can navigate to the demographic page, the segmentation page, and customer details page. Then on the segmentation page, I can click for more information. Here, I don't need to hold down the control key. So that is all for this particular report. Let me know what you think about this report in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.